had to get out all my old high school yearbooks for this one and relive some of those moments, so I hope you guys appreciate this video. Hey guys, I'm NH Designs and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna do a little bit of a story time. A lot of people when they meet me and find out that I do cosplay tend to ask about how much I enjoy Halloween and assume that, wow, Halloween must be my favorite time of year because I can dress up without any judgment or anything. But I've always had a little bit of a weird relationship with Halloween. When I was younger, Halloween was like my favorite thing ever because I would get to dress up. And then when I realized cosplay was a thing, I realized that I could do this year round at conventions, with friends, things like that. And Halloween, even though I still enjoy it immensely and enjoy spooky times and enjoy seeing everyone else dressed up in costumes, something about it just became a little different for me. So I still thoroughly enjoy the holiday and I still thoroughly enjoy participating in it, but people in high school and school were always pretty darn surprised to see me not going all out for Halloween parties and stuff. Most of my classmates were well aware, and actually the whole school was pretty well aware that I was a cosplayer. I went to a school where I think we had maybe 250 total people. Everyone knows everyone and everyone kind of knows everyone else's business. So being one of the only cosplayers, yeah, people knew that that's a thing that I did. So when I would come to school in some of my outfits, people were always a little shocked. Not because they were over the top, but because of how basic or simple they actually were. Now the reason I never really wore any of my big cosplays to school was mostly because they took a lot of effort, time, and money to put together, and you're just gonna wear it to school where you're just gonna dance at a party, and then if you go to Halloween parties after school, which I didn't, was never invited to those. If you go to Halloween party after school, especially in the higher grades of high school, people were drinking and stuff, so why would I wear something that much effort put into it where it could get ruined? So that's kind of the situation. So I figured I'd tell you guys about some of the outfits I did wear to school for Halloween throughout my high school and even my college years, and explain the why, the hows, and all that fun stuff. So grade 7 and 8, I didn't get the chance to wear costumes to school because the grade 7 and 8s at that point were not allowed to wear Halloween costumes. It was just orange and black day. Boring, oh well. In grade 9, that was my first year of high school, and I just wore a witch hat and a pretty normal outfit otherwise. I wasn't interested in wearing any of my cosplays to school because at that point I was pretty shy and nervous, and I didn't like that idea too much, didn't want too much attention on me. Meanwhile, that same year I was working on a Princess Daisy cosplay, my first one. Went to Otakuthon in that, no problem, and went to Ottawa Comic Con later in that, no problem. I didn't mind the attention at that point, did not wear it to school. In grade 10, this was when my Homestuck phase started. It was a look based on Solix Captor from Homestuck. Don't have any pictures of the full thing, but I took a pair of like prop glasses and I took like markers and colored them blue and red. I had papercraft horns on, a black long wig with 2 pigtails, a t-shirt with the Gemini symbol painted onto it, and a hoodie. So still pretty normal looking as far as costumes go. I didn't paint my skin gray or anything. Some people were surprised after they'd seen photos of me from that summer wearing other costumes at conventions amongst other people in bigger costumes. Grade 11 was the only year in high school where I really did anything. I wore that old Princess Daisy cosplay because I was ready to get rid of it at that point and remake it to make my classic Princess Daisy, which I made that same year. And my friend had a pink dress that she could alter into Princess Peach. So we took this opportunity and ran with it. And honestly, we looked pretty darn cute. We both made these costumes, but for some reason, no one really thought much of them because they thought we had purchased them apparently, which was kind of a little upsetting, to be completely honest. We put a lot of work into these and we didn't even get an honorable mention in the costume contest at the school dance. That is so upsetting. But also not really, because at that point it's when I started masquerades, so I mean, there were actual competitions for me to enter at that point. Grade 12, everyone was expecting me to bring a bigger and better costume, especially because that previous year, during a Spirit Day I dressed up, during Halloween I dressed up, so people actually expected me to wear something bigger for Halloween, and I didn't wear any costume for Halloween. I was on the basketball team at this point, and we had a game that day, so I thought there was absolutely no point. So I was just in charge of doing photography for the school yearbook. But I guess this year you could say I just dressed as a basketball player for Halloween. And literally, I think it was that same exact weekend, there was a con. I think it was the last year of Naruto U here in Ottawa, and I wore my Jade Harley cosplay. So at that point, I graduated, and then I was into my first year of college. And of course, college atmospheres change everything. It's such a different experience from high school. And you know, in your first year, everything's really different, especially when you're just someone who's fresh out of high school. But I was in fashion. There were quite a few other cosplayers in fashion along with me. So we decided to go all out. And I'm really glad we did. It was a lot of fun. College is a really interesting time for Halloween because people are partying like crazy. Also things that I did not participate in because partying just wasn't wasn't my jam. But people were always in costumes, whether they were good ones or bad ones, running up and down the hallways, going to class, etc. So my classmates and I decided to go all out, or at least the cosplayers in the group did. I ended up wearing my Merida costume, and my other friends, I think one wore Princess Kenny from South Park. My friends was just as Bubbles. It was just a cute time, honestly. Wearing Merida to class was a lot of fun, to be honest. The summer before second year, I made my infamous Charmander onesie. And when you're in college, a onesie cosplay is the best cosplay. It's comfy, it's cute, it's wonderful. So my friends and I, we had a video game theory class. It was a gen ed, so it didn't have anything to do with fashion, but we were friends with a lot of these people who were not in our normal classes. So we were comfortable enough to wear our full cosplays to class. My friend was dressed as her Gwenum, and I was in my Charmander onesie, and I had an inflatable Pokeball. And when I walked in the room, the teacher made a reaction. She's like, "Oh, so that's what you cosplay kids do on Halloween." I just looked at him, I held the ball, and was like, and he just said, "Yeah." And I threw it in the classroom, and people kind of punted it around for a while, so people threw it at me. It was a really good time. And then we met up with some friends and did some photos around on campus for a bit, and we met up with my friend who was dressed as Keyleth from Critical Role, which was also my first introduction to Critical Role, so that's also pretty cool. And then later that day, when everyone was out partying, my friends and I went out in all our onesie cosplays. I was in my Charmander, still with that Pokeball. There's something that intoxicated millennials and Generation Z kids really like, and that is Pokeballs, apparently. When they would see me dressed as Charmander, they'd get all excited. Like, "Oh my god, it's a Charmander!" One of us would be carrying around the Pokeball. You want to catch one, and then you just give it to them, and then they just whip it at you. Oh, it was a lot of fun for them, and it was quite the memory for me. And then for the rest of my school years, I wore my Charmander onesie because it was just so simple to do. It was easy to wear, super comfortable, a little warm, didn't require me to have to make something specifically for Halloween. Generally, my feelings with most Halloween parties, people expect me to go all out, and I show up in a Charmander onesie. That's just how it is, because I'm not gonna wear some of my really good costumes to a Halloween party. There are very few Halloween parties I would actually wear my cosplays to. Since coming to Ottawa, I have gone to the Heroes and Villains Halloween party, which is by cosplayers for cosplayers. You're around a lot of other people who get the cosplay on Halloween kind of mentality. So overall, I still really enjoy Halloween. It's just, you won't see me intentionally making a costume for that, and you won't see me in very big costumes on Halloween. So I hope you enjoyed this little story time, Halloween story time, I guess, if this counts as a story time, but hope this is a little bit enjoyable, a little bit interesting on the insight to a cosplayer in Halloween. If you like this video or like some of my other content, be sure to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. See you guys later!